So we're going to do nets and surface area of a cube, and we're going to start off by doing 4 times 4, which is 16, and then we're going to do 16 times 6, which equals 96. So we know that our final answer is going to be 96 centimeters and then squared, because this, if you cut it out and you fold it, it will equal a cube. And we can tell because there are 6 faces, and a cube has 6 faces, which is why I did 16 times 6.
So this question says, the diagram shows the net of a rectangular prism. Find the surface area of the rectangular prism. So the formula for area of a rectangle is area equals length times width, or base times height. Alright, so let's look at the first figure, this one here. The length is 2 and the width is 3. So 2 times 3 equals 6 cm squared. Let's take a look at this figure now, this rectangle over here. You've got a length of 5 times a width of, what do you say, 2 again? 5 times 2, so that's 10 centimeters. If this one's 10, then so is this one, so add another 10. And this one is also congruent, so add another 10. And since it is a rectangular prism, we know that this is also congruent. These face 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 faces are congruent. So add another 10 there. And then we'll pick up this color here. This rectangle is congruent with this rectangle. And we already know that the area of that is 6. So all of the areas of each of the individual rectangles have been accounted for. So we've got 4 groups of 10 is 40. And then we've got, over here, we've got 2 groups of 6, which equals 12. So 40 plus 12 is 52 centimeters squared.
So we are working with nets and cubes and rectangular prisms again, and we are going to find the surface area of each cube and rectangular prism. So we know that all of these shapes are congruent because they are separated and the lines are parallel, and we know that a cube has 6 faces, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm just going to do 5 times 5, which equals 25. And then we're going to do 25 times 6, which equals 150. So now to put that into a final answer, it would be 150 centimeters squared.
Here we are again. We are trying to find the surface area of what appears to be a rectangular prism. So it looks like the area, we know that area equals base times height. So it looks like the area of this particular rectangular prism here is 60 centimeters squared, which means this one is 60 centimeters squared. Alright, and now we just have to figure out 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So a great teacher once said, read a little, do a little. So we're going to fill in what we know here. This is also going to be 6 as a dimension. And if that's 6, we know that this is 6. All of these are 6. This is also going to be 6 centimeters. And this is going to be 20. So now I've got the rest of the shapes all labeled so that I can figure out the area of these 4 remaining rectangles. So 20 times 6 will give me 120 centimeters squared. And that will cover this 120 centimeters squared will be good for 120, 120. Now, this shape here is 20 in height, and this one as well is 20 in height, and the width going this way is 10. So these two shapes are going to be 20 times 10, which equals 200 centimeters squared. And there are two of them. There's this one and this one. So 200 times 2 is 400, plus 120 times 2 is 240. And then two groups of 60 are another 120. So we'll add those up. So all these zeros are 0. 4 and 2 is 6. 4 and 2 is 6, plus another one is 720 cm squared. Final answer here for the rectangular prism to number 4. The surface area is 760 centimeters squared.
So we are doing another net, and I see that this right here is 10 centimeters. So I think that this over here would be 10, and this up here would be 10, and then this right there would be 10. And then I noticed that there is another cube right over here. And I can infer that this would be 10, and this would be 10, and this would be 10, and this would be 10. And I can see that there are tick marks, so I know that all of them are equal, and a square has all equal sides. So to find the area of it, we are going to do 10 times 10, which equals 100. And I know that I'm going to do this because the formula is length times width. And since this right here is equal to this down here, we know that this is 100 as well. So I think that this 18 right here is equal to all of these right here too. So I am going to do 18 because I see that right there, and there are 4 of them. And I know that this is 10 right there because I see the 10 right there. So 18 times 10 is really easy because you just add the 0. So I know it's 180. And then you're going to do 180 times 4. So let me just write that down, 180 times 4, and you get 720, and then you're going to add 200 to that, and you get 920, and that is your final answer, but you have to add your unit. So 920 centimeters squared.